Welcome to this Let's Build of LEGO set number 66534, the Star Wars MicroFighters Super Pack 3-in-1. There's a mouthful. My name is Unit 4A, and thank you for tuning in. This Super Pack 3-in-1 is actually a Costco store exclusive. You're not going to find it in the online store. I haven't been able to find it anywhere online except like auction houses or whatever. It's actually composed of three separate MicroFighter sets rather than being one set that contains three models. As such, it contains three kits. So the first one is actually the original 75076 Republic Gunship, which you see me building here. I've known about these microfighters for some time now, and they've been doing it for several years now. But this just seemed like a convenient time to get them, because 3-in-1, $20. Couldn't really argue with that. This Super Pack 3-in-1 is actually the second of two kits that Costco was selling. I just chose this one because I like the vehicles that were in it. The other vehicles were protagonists and antagonists. If you look at the Super Packs, it actually has the opposition to the kits that are featured in this set. So yeah, like you get both sets and you get an actual like combat sequence or whatever it is. I started with the Republic Gunship because why not? You know. Hmm. Wasn't anything particularly striking about the construction of this one. I just like how compact it is and the details that are on it. So, I'd actually, unfortunately, I missed my chance to get the full scale Lego Republic gunships a number ships. I'm sorry, Republic gunships a number of times in the past. Unfortunately, because the Clone Wars TV series ended, they won't be making any more of these in the large scale. I wanted to get the one that had it was a modified gunship that had it was full sized except instead of carrying troops, it had a pair of like magnetic grapple arms on either side, and it would actually pick up a an open top ATTE transport. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's open top, and there's a bunch of troops. It's a troop transport. Just the top of it is cut off. It's like an open air car, that kind of thing. But three, 400. Oh yeah, there's my Lego separator. I accidentally put some pieces together that I shouldn't have, and it was hard to get apart in my fingers. So Lego separator to the rescue. But anyways, yeah, $300 was a little difficult to justify at the time. So I guess this is the best I'll have to do for a while. Not a whole lot I can say on this one. There wasn't anything particularly stunning. I like the way they put it together. There's actually very little movement in those wings, by the way. There is. It's a friction joint on either side, but it actually doesn't move around very much. I was surprised. It's actually on there pretty well. Ugh, these little push-to-fire missiles. I'm not impressed with them. I've dealt with them in the past and just, eh, not happy about it. Next up is the 75075 AT-AT transport. Walker, crawler, transport, whatever you want to call it. I'll be honest, like it's difficult for me to justify the turtle camel. Just like it's imposing at first, but you look at it one too many times, it's like, whatever. Not very threatening, not very imposing. Like it's tall, but those legs are really, really skinny. So I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent to the AT-AT. So whatever. Actually, there's I think it's the current version of the AT-AT that Lego's put out. It's 100 something or other dollars, and pretty it's pretty awesome. But still don't want it. Don't care. The the Clone Wars version, the ATTE, is actually more interesting to me. Look, it looks heavier. It looks a little more practical. So I just like the ATTE more. I hope that's the right acronym. I can't remember. All-terrain tactical enforcer. I think that's what it is. But yeah, the AT-AT just okay. Like I know it's classics. It's original trilogy. You're supposed to love the hell out of it. Blah blah blah. But yeah, neutral on it. Most of these kits are pretty straightforward. So not really anything that like surprised the heck out of me. Honestly, the biggest surprise came out of the third kit that I'll be covering in a couple of minutes. The ARC 170 Starfighter, and that was mostly about how the panels and how things are lined up on it. It was real nice. A lot of the details they got right on there. Ava, focus on the AT-AT. It's amazing with so few parts. They got that head design just right on. Like it lacks detail, but you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, that's the AT-AT from Empire Strikes Back. Absolutely. So they got that right. I was really happy with that. If I remember correctly, the other Super Pack 3-in-1 had the snow speeder. And I was like, oh, I need to get a snow speeder, but like, I wanted the ARC 170 and the gunship more, so I went with this one instead. Maybe if I can get back to Costco before before November, because here it is, uh, late October 2015. Like this is obviously meant to be for a Christmas package, and I got it early, and I'm doing that. Yeah, the little puppy thing. So yeah, I might get the other one. I'd like to be able to get the other one. I'm just not sure if I'll be able to get to Costco in time. Maybe next time I go grocery shopping. You can never look at the AT-AT and not hear that as it walks along. Like you'll never not hear that. And finally, we have the 75072 ARC 170 Starfighter kit. I already have I want to say it's the second and final version of the ARC 170 that Lego put out a number of years ago. I was really happy with it. The only problem I had with it is it insisted on using rubber bands, and the wings were slightly flimsy. But and the wingspan on it is freaking huge. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's minifig scale, so whatever. But that ARC 170, the official one, and again, keep in mind it's the second version. The original version they released when Attack of the Clones came out in 2003, 2004ish. Lego did a version then, so I got the updated version that came from the Clone Wars TV series. The RC-170 is obviously an X-Wing fighter predecessor, so how could I not get it? Hmm. I totally thought I had as I was building this, I totally thought I had the orientation of the hull correct. Like, oh, okay, this slanted area is going to be underneath the nose, and okay, I'm going to do this over here, blah, blah, blah. And then when I finished putting these wings together, I was like, wait, what? Oh, it's totally flipped the other way. Oh, that's where the nose is. Okay, so I got a little disoriented at first. You see right there, I was like, wait, what? What's going on? On the full size version, the ARC 170 actually has a bomb bay door. You pull on a little cog at the back of the thing, and then it drops out some little bomblets. So that's probably why they put the projectiles underneath underneath the wings in the back, as opposed to having the missiles replace the big blaster cannons on the outside of the main wings. Or not the wings, the shield generators. There are no wings in Star Wars. What are you talking about, Ava? I was curious to know how they were going to get those upper wings attached, or shield generators, radiators. I don't know what they are. I think they're radiators. The smaller ones on the top and the bottom. I think those are radiators. Don't quote me on it though. I just like the kind of the chubbiness of this thing, and it's got these really huge air intakes on the front, or cooling vents, or whatever you want to call them. Then on the back, it's just kind of little beep 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 beep, little thrusters on the back. It's adorable. Yes. Really short video, really small kits. Kind of difficult for me to come up with a bunch of descriptions. But 3-in-1 pack kind of justified the commentary and such. Oh, I did just the cutest little things. Seriously, like, if the AT-AT is a camel, I know I've said this already. If the AT-AT is a camel, then this micro AT-AT is a puppy. Just like the proportions are ridiculous. The head ratchets up and down, which is even more ridiculous because, like, if you got him on a low shelf, you can totally have it looking up at you. Aww. And those legs are they're pretty darn flexible. You can actually get it. You can actually do it into the sitting camel position. Is that a real position? There. Now it's in hover bike mode, because why not? Friction in the ankle joints is going to go eventually. That's probably the first thing that's going to go. But yeah, ETAT, ridiculously adorable. Probably because it's the most animal-like. And oh look, it still has a big little eye thing. Okay. This one, which I've totally forgotten the name of, by far the most compact, by far the most stable of the three. I'd say, like, the legs are kind of an issue here. You've got the little gun turrets there. This one by far the most stable. It also has the easiest access to the weapons. I still don't like these flick fire missiles. Like, there's no such thing as a flick fire missile. Like that just, well, not these anyway. These are push to fire, but kids might get a better reaction out of it than me. But yeah, kind of weak. But I mean, that's one of the reasons why I bought these sets, is because they're small, they're adorable, they're easy to put together. They actually have some good detail on them. For example, as I mentioned earlier, I was really surprised the ARC-170 does indeed have 3 cockpits on it, and then in this mini kit they actually did manage to get 1, 2, 3 cockpits onto it. So that's I like that. And then the engines are a little high on this kit. Like, they should be center of the wing. I can forgive them for that. But the fact that they got them in there, that's pretty nice as well. And also, it's a little more of a bomb bay down here, so that's why the missiles are not located on the outside here. These are a little prominent enough. They're like, we can't really justify putting these out here, so we'll just put them in a separate little bay right there, which I can totally live with. And they somehow still got the rounded, notched nose in there. That's pretty great. Which one's my favorite? Oh, don't make me choose. This one's adorable because Animal Doggy kitten cuteness. This one's just because they got a lot of the details right on it. But it's also probably the one that has the most things sticking out that you're gonna have trouble hanging on to. Probably gonna go to this one, just because it's the most stable. It has the least amount of things that are moving. That's nice. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. I think this clip on the back, right here, I think you're supposed to put the blaster there, but I'm not entirely certain, because it's the only one of the three that has any kind of, well, this one has one now that I think about it. Actually, it does, yeah. Does this have one? Well, maybe if you put the blaster in back right there. You know, now that I think about it, I think they did have an aft turret, or something like that. I don't know this one very well, or at least not as well as I used to. So, yeah, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they actually do have weapon storage for all of them. In which case, good for Lego. I'm glad they figured it out. I thought it was like, you know, old school original trilogy, just kind of asymmetrical panel details or whatever it is. And this I was like, well, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe that's where the R2 unit is supposed to sit as a replacement for where the pilot is sitting on this kit. But I take it back. Maybe they did find a way to, of incorporating weapon storage into these kits. And I respect them for that just a little bit more. And aren't they just the cutest little chunksters? Yes, they are. And so, this is AV Unit 4A saying, thanks for tuning in.